Do you ever feel like life is a whirlwind, a relentless rush of tasks, obligations, and distractions, yet despite your endless hustle, you're left wondering, is this all there is? Many of us live reactively, running from one urgency to the next without pausing to ask if we're moving in the right direction. The Stoics teach us that life's true measure isn't found in busyness, it's found in intention. It's about living with purpose, clarity, and focus. As Epictetus once said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The habits we'll explore today are not quick fixes or trendy hacks. They're timeless principles that can help you reclaim your power, align your actions with your values, and live with true purpose. Let's begin. Habit number 1, be proactive, own your response. Have you ever noticed how often we blame external circumstances for our problems? The weather ruins our plans. A rude coworker puts us in a bad mood. Traffic makes us late. It's easy to feel like life is conspiring against us. But here's a question worth pondering. What if the problem isn't out there, but within us? The Stoics believe that our true power lies not in controlling what happens to us, but in how we respond to it. Life will throw curveballs, delays, disappointments, difficult people. But none of these things have the power to derail you unless you let them. Here's a powerful mental shift. Imagine you're in line at a coffee shop, and someone rudely cuts in front of you. Instantly your blood boils. You're thinking, who does this person think they are? At that moment, you have a choice. You can let your frustration take over, ruining not just your coffee run but your entire morning. Or you can pause, take a breath, and remind yourself, this is not worth my peace of mind. The Stoics called this the space between stimulus and response, and within that space lies your power to choose. But being proactive isn't just about managing your reactions, it's about taking initiative. Highly effective people don't sit around waiting for life to happen to them. They take control. Think of it like being the captain of a ship. The seas may be rough, but a proactive captain adjusts the sails and keeps moving forward. Practical tip: start small. The next time something doesn't go your way, a missed deadline, an unexpected expense, or a snarky comment, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? More often than not, the answer will be no. Redirect your focus to what you can control: your mindset, your actions, and your attitude. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. Live with purpose. Have you ever felt like you're constantly busy but not really sure if you're doing the right things? Like you're checking off tasks, meeting deadlines, but deep down you're wondering, what's the point? The Stoics had a term for this: telos, your ultimate purpose. Without a clear sense of direction, even the busiest person can waste their life chasing the wrong things. Imagine life as a journey. If you don't know your destination, how will you know which roads to take? It's like setting out on a hike without knowing where the trail ends. You might wander and see interesting sights, but you'll never feel the satisfaction of reaching a peak. When you begin with the end in mind, everything changes. Decisions become clearer. Should you take that job? Should you invest time in a relationship? Should you buy that expensive car? Instead of making choices based on what's easy or popular, you align them with your vision. Practical exercise: create a personal mission statement. Think of it as your compass, a clear declaration of what you stand for. It could be as simple as, I live to grow, serve others, and find joy in small moments. Reflect on your mission regularly and let it guide your decisions. Habit number 3, put first things first, prioritize what matters. Have you ever felt like your to-do list is running your life? You wake up, glance at all the things you need to do, and immediately feel overwhelmed. So, you tackle the easiest tasks first to feel productive. But by the end of the day, you realize you haven't made progress on the things that truly matter. The Stoics understood that urgency often crowds out importance. They emphasized the importance of focusing on what aligns with your values. Visualize this: think of your life as a jar. The big rocks represent the important things: your health, relationships, and personal growth. The sand represents less critical tasks: emails, errands, social media. If you fill your jar with sand first, there's no room for the rocks. But if you put the rocks in first, the sand fills the gaps. Practical tip: identify your big rocks. What are the things that bring the most value to your life? Prioritize them and protect your time fiercely. Remember, saying yes to everything means saying no to what truly matters. Habit number 4, think win-win, shift from competition to collaboration. When you approach a disagreement, what's your mindset? Are you aiming to win at all costs? It's tempting to compete. We're taught from a young age to get ahead. But Stoic wisdom teaches us that true success isn't about defeating others. It's about creating value for everyone. Seneca wrote, "What difference does it make how much you have? What you do not have amounts to much more." The lesson? Life isn't a zero-sum game. Think win-win. Instead of focusing on what you can get, ask yourself, how can I create an outcome where everyone benefits? This mindset builds trust, fosters lasting relationships, and leads to sustainable success. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Some people hear win-win and assume it means giving up what you want to make others happy. But that's not what we're talking about. A win-win mindset doesn't mean sacrificing your needs. It means finding solutions that work for both sides. It's about saying, your success doesn't threaten mine. That shift in thinking is incredibly liberating. When you stop viewing others as competitors and start seeing them as partners, opportunities multiply. But let's be real, thinking win-win isn't always easy. Ego gets in the way. We want to prove we're right, to feel like we've won. This is where Stoicism can be a game changer. Epictetus taught, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. A win-win mindset requires humility, the ability to set aside your ego and truly listen to the other person. It's about seeking understanding before seeking agreement. Easier said than done, but incredibly powerful when practiced. So, how do you cultivate this mindset? Start by shifting your perspective. Instead of asking, how can I get what I want? Ask, what's the best outcome for everyone involved? Then practice empathy. Put yourself in the other person's shoes and try to see the situation from their point of view. What do they want? What do they need? When you approach a conversation with this level of understanding, you'll find it easier to build trust and create solutions that work for both sides. Another key element is communication. Be transparent about your intentions and invite others to do the same. If you're negotiating, for example, be upfront about what you value and ask them to share their priorities. Often you'll find that what matters most to each person isn't in direct conflict. It's just a matter of aligning your goals. Habit number 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Have you ever been in a conversation where you felt like the other person wasn't really listening? Maybe you were pouring your heart out, and they interrupted with advice you didn't ask for. Or worse, they turned the conversation back to themselves. It's frustrating, isn't it? But here's the kicker, we've all been that person at some point. We think we're listening, but we're really just waiting for our turn to talk. It's such a common trap that most people don't even realize they're doing it. The Stoics, however, would have seen this as a missed opportunity. They believed that true wisdom begins with understanding others, not imposing your own opinions. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Most of us listen with one goal in mind, to respond. Even when we're quiet, our brains are working overtime to craft the perfect reply, rebuttal, or piece of advice. But that's not real listening. Real listening, what we might call Stoic listening, requires presence. It demands that you set aside your own agenda and focus entirely on the other person. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea perfectly. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. When you're secure in yourself, you don't need to dominate a conversation or prove your point, you can simply listen. Here's where the magic happens. When people feel heard, they naturally open up. Think about the last time someone truly listened to you, not just nodded along but really made an effort to understand what you were saying. Didn't it feel amazing? That's because being understood is a universal human need. When you meet that need for someone else, you create a safe space for collaboration, growth, and even resolution of conflict. Now, this doesn't mean you should be a passive participant in conversations. Seeking to understand isn't about letting others talk endlessly while you nod politely. It's about engaging with empathy and curiosity. Ask open-ended questions like, "Can you tell me more about how you're feeling?" Or "What do you think would make this situation better?" These questions show that you value the other person's perspective, and they often lead to insights you wouldn't have uncovered otherwise. Another key aspect of this habit is recognizing nonverbal cues. People communicate far more than words can convey through their tone, body language, and facial expressions. The Stoics often emphasize the importance of observing others with clarity and objectivity, free from judgment. Epictetus might have said, "Do not merely listen to their words but seek the intention behind them." In today's terms, that means paying attention to what's left unsaid. Does the person seem anxious, defensive, or excited? These clues can give you a deeper understanding of their state of mind, allowing you to respond with greater empathy. But what happens after you've truly understood someone? That's when it's your turn to speak, to be understood. And here's the good news. When you've taken the time to listen first, people are far more likely to listen to you in return. Your words carry more weight because they come from a place of mutual respect and understanding. It's not about winning the conversation. It's about reaching a place where both parties feel heard and valued. Habit number 6. Build strength through unity. Have you ever noticed how some of the best things in life happen when people come together? Whether it's a brilliant idea born from a team brainstorming session or a family working through challenges to grow closer, there's something powerful about collaboration. But here's the catch: working with others isn't always easy. Personalities clash, egos get in the way, and sometimes it feels simpler to just do everything yourself. Still, when we isolate ourselves, we miss out on something extraordinary. The Stoics understood this deeply, teaching that humans are inherently social beings designed to thrive through cooperation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." In other words, when we work together, we all flourish. This idea is the essence of synergy, the principle that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Think of it like baking a cake. Flour, sugar, eggs, and butter on their own are fine. But mix them together and you create something completely different and far more delightful. Synergy works the same way in our relationships, teams, and communities. It's not just about adding our strengths together, it's about creating something new and better through cooperation. But here's the thing: synergy doesn't happen by accident. It requires an open mind and a willingness to embrace differences. And this is where most people struggle. We're naturally drawn to people who think like us, who share our perspectives, and who don't challenge our beliefs. It's comfortable, but it's also limiting. The Stoics would challenge us to step out of this comfort zone. Epictetus taught, "It is impossible to begin to learn that which one thinks one already knows." True synergy begins when we recognize that others' strengths and viewpoints, even when they differ from our own, are opportunities for growth. Of course, synergy requires a certain mindset. First and foremost, it demands humility. You have to be willing to admit that you don't have all the answers and that other people's ideas have value. This can be tough, especially when you're confident in your abilities. But as Seneca wisely observed, there is no one so perfect that they cannot learn from others. Humility opens the door to collaboration, creating space for others to contribute their best. It also requires trust. When you work with others, you're putting part of your success in their hands. This can feel risky, but trust is the foundation of any synergistic relationship. The Stoics understood this, emphasizing the importance of justice, treating others fairly and with respect. When you trust others and show them respect, they're more likely to bring their full selves to the table. And that's when true synergy happens. So, how do you foster synergy in your daily life? Start by practicing active listening. When someone shares an idea, resist the urge to judge or dismiss it. Instead, ask questions, explore their perspective, and look for ways their strengths can complement yours. Approach disagreements as opportunities, not obstacles. And most importantly, stay curious. Curiosity keeps you open to new possibilities and helps you see challenges as puzzles to solve together. Habit number 7, sharpen the saw. Have you ever felt like you're running on empty? Maybe you've been working non-stop, juggling responsibilities and pushing yourself to the limit. At first, it feels productive. You're getting things done, meeting deadlines, and checking off tasks. But over time, the cracks start to show. You're tired, your focus is slipping, and even the simplest things feel overwhelming. It's as if you're trying to chop down a tree with a dull axe. No matter how much effort you put in, the results just aren't there. The Stoics would see this as a warning sign, a reminder that even the strongest among us need to take care of the tools we use to navigate life, our minds, bodies, and souls. These habits are not just ideas, they are life principles that can transform how you live. The Stoics remind us that we are not victims of circumstance. We are the masters of our responses, the architects of our lives. So, as you move through your day, ask yourself, am I living intentionally or reactively? Am I aligning my actions with my values? Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. But each small step brings you closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message. Until next time, stay grounded and keep striving for excellence.